we want to keep history alive with Washington Redskins memorabilia. If you have any Cleveland Indians memorabilia, send it our way. So there was free comic books, and also this was in like a closet. I can't say that this was going to be a successful endeavor for this guy. There was a bunch of free comics that were put out by Marvel and DC for Free Comic Book Day, and this one was called Marvel's Voices, and this is rated T for teen, 13 years old plus. And then, so it looks innocent enough from the front. You'd go to the back, though, and we're celebrating Pride. So the first sign that you're a pervert is that you want children to be exposed to different sexualities or any sexuality at all. You wouldn't talk to a child about having sex with a woman. You wouldn't talk to a child about having sex with a girl. You wouldn't talk to a boy like that. You wouldn't talk to a young girl about having sex with a man. You wouldn't be talking to 13-year-olds about sex, even though this is, rated teen, 13 plus. That's the first sign that you're weird, that you want to talk to children about these things. So I see this, and I'm just like, watch. How long until I turn to a page with a trans person in it? I open it up, and it's got Spider-Man with his hair coming out of it for some reason. And then the next page I flip to, if we get past people wearing masks, was this one. And this is how quickly we got to trans. It's in the middle somewhere. And this is for 13-year-olds. And I took a picture of it so that you could see it. Peach is this guy's name. Leader of the commune. Trans woman. Hacker. Yorkie enthusiast. Currently really frustrated. So this transgender person is a communist and a hacker and works with a bunch of masked people to steal things. This is great. I mean, unless you're trying to say, transgender people are communists and criminals, I guess that's fine. But they're just trying to steal supplies, so they're actually just good people. So here's what it says in the rest of it. We'll just leave that part up for you. Is this really it? They say as they're ransacking a place. They must have just had a shipment go out, but there's still plenty of needles and syringes, so we're drug addicts too. Plus bandages, some antiseptic. Fine. It is what it is. Let's just get out of here before the security system's back online. I can only keep us hidden for so long. So the transgender hacker's a genius. Spider-Man then shows up. The transgender person's holding on to his Yorkie. And then we have there's the Yorkie. We got to put me back on full screen here. I should just do a whole thing on this. I don't know if you can see that. But then Spider-Man arrives, and in one part they're describing the commune, a Robin Hood-esque queer human anarchist crew who live and work together. So there are a bunch of gay communist transgender people who are hackers, and they work together to rob people, and this is for 13-year-olds. It's really interesting. One of them's biting Spider-Man. He's some sort of freak. Gambit shows up. I don't know if this is part of the same story. But then we got another part of Marvel celebrates indigenous stories and creators. This is all for 13-year-olds, by the way. And, when you might have been a kid, even in the early 2000s, it probably had stuff for video games. It probably had stuff for other comics. And even further back, you'd probably see stuff for, stupid things you can mail in and buy. But in 2024, what we want to advertise to children is about transgenderism, about queer communist people. And yes, I get they're the villain, but why are you talking about sexuality in a comic book for children? Imagine in 1978, Stan Lee was like, then showed up the Rhino, and Spider-Man didn't know what to do because the Rhino had irregular pronouns. He went by Zer, and Spider-Man didn't want to misgender him because that would have been mean. Could you imagine that? The X-Men showed up, and even though they were hell-bent on rescuing Wolverine, they thought that maybe that the mountainside experimental, layer was owned by a black and brown indigenous person, so they didn't think they should ruin a person of color's workplace like that. That's really effing weird that we involve these things in children's cartoons and be like, what? We're not doing anything. And as soon as you put that in their face, they're just like, oh, you're killing us.
Turn it up, Jordan.